What's up? It's Saturday and we are getting ready for a big storm here. So, I want to get this training going, but first I want y'all to look at the makeup. I had a photo shoot today. Trying to get that in before the snow and ice gets here and get this training out of the way so I can take this off because it feels like, oh my goodness. For those of you that wear makeup every day, God bless you. I don't wear full makeup every day. I don't wear it very often, but when I do, all I want to do is get it off my face. It's a thing. It's a thing. So I'm Wendy Robinson from Wendy J Creative, and today I would like to finish up our 12 steps to winning with WordPress. Steps 1 through 8 were done. I think I did step 1 on one day, and I did step 2 and 3 on another day, and then step 4, 5, and 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 somewhere along there. I did individually, and they're all in the Facebook group. If you just search for 12 steps, the words 12 steps, you should be able to see them all. I've also in the group uploaded a PDF that you can download when you're watching the replay to take notes for each step. These 12 steps are going to help you set up your WordPress website so that it runs efficiently. It's not what we're going to share today is going to help you customize it a little bit, but these 12 steps were really, I put them together because a lot of people dive in and don't know what they don't know. They don't know exactly what they should turn off, what they should choose for some of their default settings. And so I've gone through some of those and tried to explain why you do it the way that I've shared with you. And it's really to help you get things set up the right way right from the start, and then you don't have to deal with it again. Okay. So today we are going to, let me share my screen really quick. So today we're going to talk about step 9 through 12. Step 9 through 12 really deal with more of the aesthetic parts of your WordPress website. Step 9, I'm going to show you how to set up your logo and then do your site identity. And your site identity basically is if you're in a browser screen on your computer and you see that little tab on the browser screen, whether you use Safari or Chrome or whatever, there's a little favicon, little icon up there that is really nice to have for your business so that you don't see the WordPress circle up there or nothing. Yeah, it's really minimal, minor thing, but it's part of your branding, so you might as well set it up right. I'll show you how to set that up. And then step 10, we're going to create some core pages. Now, I want to stick a pin here and tell you that I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing these last few steps. The first way is just using the default theme that comes with WordPress and how it looks, right? It's still a website. It looks kind of boring and is not, let me cut this off, so sorry. Looks kind of boring and really doesn't pop at all, but it's just, again, I'm trying to teach you the basics. Then I'm going to show you how to do these steps with a couple of clicks and having a um, fully fleshed out, built website with 4 or 5 pages, colors, pictures, everything already there. So all you have to do is replace the text and the images. Okay. So step 10, we'll do core pages for the vanilla or generic site, but we'll skip that step when I go to the second step, the second web test site, because I'm going to show you a plugin that's going to have you set up a website like that. Okay. Step 11, we're going to, with the vanilla site or the generic site, we're going to install a different theme just to show you how to change your theme, install a theme. And then the last thing, I'm going to share a couple of plugins with you that I like to use one for security, one for backing up your website to a location that you can choose. A couple of plugins that are going to help you with your Google Analytics, and then a couple of plugins that will help you with your images, keeping them small. Um, I'm also going to share a plugin where you can duplicate pages easily. Okay, so if you create a page, like for instance, if you create a landing page on your website and you don't want to go through the setup of that page again, or you want to use your website, create landing pages on the fly, because as entrepreneurs, digital entrepreneurs, we're creating landing pages all the time. And so if you've created one that you like and all you have to do is make minor changes to it, I'll show you how to duplicate those pages really quickly with a plugin. Okay? All right, so let's get started. I'm going to turn that off and pull up the website, our test site that we've been working on, so I can share that with you. And I hope some of you have downloaded the software called Local WP onto your computer. As I shared maybe 1 or 2 live streams ago, localwp.com has a free piece of software that you can download to your computer where you can practice on building your website and learning more about WordPress. It's a great tool. I use it for all of my initial work on clients' websites, and then I migrate them over to an actual live internet address while I finish it. And then I migrate it over to the client's website. So I hope you've had a chance to download that. If not, get over there after class. Don't do it now. And use it. It's really a great tool. All right, and then website 2, we need to start it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our first site, the site that's generic, and put that over here. So you guys, well, actually, I'm going to put this here. Ooh, where did you guys go? Okay, there's my studio. All right, put that there. And then share my, oh, wait a second, let's share again. Stop screen sharing. Start screen sharing. I'm using a new tool today called Restream. It's a great tool. I learned how to use it yesterday. I was playing around with it. Some of you may have seen me playing around with it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just walk you through a little bit of the dashboard. I don't want to do that. How about we do that so you see more of it? Okay, I'm down there in the right-hand corner. All right, so here's the dashboard of the test site, right? So I think where we left off is we did categories and tags, which are basically just and it's mostly for bloggers that want to, categorize all their blog posts. They may blog about 3 or 4 different subjects, and then within those 3 or 4 different subjects, they have tags, sort of like hashtags that you use on social media. And that not many people use them unless they're blogging. So it was a really short live stream I did on that. But now I'm getting into the people that want to use this for their actual website and use it to, either share information about their services or share information about themselves or their products. Lots of people actually build e-commerce websites with WordPress. They're a little more involved than your Shopify's and some of the other ones out there that I recommend sometimes. But excuse me, if you're a techie person and you'd like control of how things look, WordPress is a great tool to do that as well. So I think what we are going to do first is set up the logo for this test site. So I'm just going to set up my logo. and my little favicon for the site identity. It's called site identity in WordPress. And you find all that in this section here under appearance. If you go to appearance and then customize, now again, we're using the 2020 theme that comes with the WordPress installation. And again, it looks very simple, right? No big deal. We actually set up a blog on this during one of our previous sessions. But what I'd like to do is turn this into sort of what my website would look like if I was starting to use this particular setup. And so what we want to do for the logo is go into site identity. I'm sorry, not the, yes, right here, logo. And let's go find one of my logos. I don't know which one I'm going to use today. Let's see. You guys probably can't see that part. So let me go over here and look for it. WJC branding. Let's see. Let's use. No, I don't want to use that logo. Let's use that one. That's a nice plain logo. All right. So I'm going to open that up. And it's going to import the file, the logo, into the media library, which is another area. So you start out in the appearance, customize, then site identity, right? And then once you choose the logo, the screen that comes up here is your media library. It'll show you your file here. It'll show you some information about the file, the date you uploaded it, the size of the file, and the dimensions. Okay, don't worry about the dimensions so much right now. I'm going to ahead and click select. Now, when you open it, it will give you the option of either cropping it or skipping it. And depending on the theme you use, you may have to crop it a little bit. Your theme may give you the dimensions that you should put your logo in order for it to fit in your theme's architecture. So be careful, because if you use a logo that is not sized properly, it could throw the look and feel of your page off, your whole website off. So one of the things I like about this particular generic theme is that it gives you the option. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and crop the image. And oh, there has been an error. Okay, so let's skip cropping. So I'm going to skip cropping. It's a little big up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like it is, because the theme that I'm going to load, Astra Theme, is going to actually allow me to make it bigger or smaller. So let's just leave it like this for now. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the back button. And then go back to site identity, because I forgot this is where you upload the site icon or the little favicon, which appears right up here in this area. See where it has the W for WordPress? Well, my name's Wendy, and my name of my company is Wendy J Creative, but I don't like that W, so I'm going to upload my own W. Now, for site icons, you need the icon. The file has to be 512 pixels by 512 pixels. Very easy to edit that in any editing software. So I'm going to go ahead and click on upload, and I'm going to go upload files, and then I'm going to go find my file. And the screen is gray while you guys do that. I just got to find my 512 by 12. I'm going to just do my little butterfly. Do I have a gray one? I don't think I have a gray butterfly. Let's just do my blue one. Okay. We'll do that one. All right. So now my little icon up there is going to be a butterfly instead of that ugly W. All right. And just click select. and then publish. Publish. Okay. So once that finishes, now you can see the little butterfly up there instead of the W. See, that's nice, right? All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's X out of here, close this down, and what will come up next is you'll look like you're back at your dashboard. And let's look at a live version of this website. All right, so this logo is very big, all right? And you see that there's a tagline under here. Now, some people may like their logo that big. It doesn't look terrible, but when I load a different theme, it may, depending on the setup of that theme and how it looks, it may throw that logo off. It may throw off the look and feel of the home page. But with this particular theme, it looks fine. Maybe just a little too big. So that's how you upload your logo, and that's how you change your little site icon or favicon right up there, which is on the tab of your browser window. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard. And I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create some core pages. Now, all you do is go to pages. And when I say core pages, I mean your home page, your about page, your services or products page. If you're doing products, you probably need a plugin called WooCommerce. I'm not going to go into that type of training here because we're keeping this simple. So services, and then we already created the blog page and a contact page. Now, some of these pages may already be there. Let's see what we got here. So we have a blog page and a home page. Let's get rid of this sample page. We don't need that. And then I'm going to delete it permanently so it doesn't show up anymore. All right, so going back to published pages, we have a blog page and a home page. And all you have to do to create the other pages is click on Add New. One other thing I want to make a note of. I am using the updated WordPress editor called Gutenberg because most people are using that now, but I actually like the classic version of the WordPress editor. If you're like me and you've used WordPress before, there is a way for you to change this back to the classic editor. And I'll show you that when we get to the plugins portion of this training. All right. So what we want to do here is name the page, and we're going to call this one About, and then we're going to hit Publish. Oops. Publish. And then publish again. Okay. And then we're going to go back to the dashboard by clicking on the W. And we're going to create the next core page, which is going to be the services page. And then hit publish and publish. And then one last page, go back to the W to take us back to the dashboard. And we're going to click on Add New. And we're going to call this one Contact or Contact Me, right? And publish twice. Then go back to the W. We're not going to create any content on these pages yet because I'm going to show you the easier way to build your website. But anyway, so now your core pages are done. And if you go click here to Appearance and Menus, you'll also notice that those pages, main menu. Let's call it main menu. We're going to create our first menu. And we are going to create the menu. And then we're going to add all these pages to the menu. So just click on View All and check all these boxes and then add to the menu. All right, so now as you can see, home, blog, about, contact me, and services. That might not be the order you want these in. So what we're going to do is we're going to move about up underneath home. And we're going to move services up underneath about. We're going to leave blog there and then contact me. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hit Save Menu. All right, and let's see if that updates our menu. So I'm going to the live version of the website. And there you go. We have About, Blog, Contact Me, Home, and Services. Oh, it's in the wrong order. Let me see. Okay. Well, we're going to leave it there for now because I'm going to show you how to edit the menu in the other theme. All right. All right. So what's next? Let me see. So we created our core pages. Now we're going to load the Astra theme. The Astra theme is amazing. Okay. So to do that, you're going to click on Appearance and then Themes. And this is available. Then click on Add New. Now before and then there it is right there, we're going to install it. But if you didn't see it on the screen, you could search for it, ASTRA. Now before I do that, I just want to talk about themes for just a little bit. There are free themes. There are themes that are premium themes that you have to pay for. And then within the theme, sometimes they'll have different setup options for that theme. Some themes will come with options to import fully functioning or, fully built out websites, templates, so that all you have to do is change the text for your text and your images. Some people want to customize that. Some themes will allow you to do it and some won't. One of the plugins that I like using that turns any website, but specifically the Astra website, into a drag and drop environment is called Elementor. Okay, and then Astra also has a plugin called Astra Starter sites, where you can import a brand new, fully built out website in seconds. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install this theme. And again, themes, there are a million themes out there. Some are good, some are bad, some are, kind of okay. And then after you click install, click activate. And the screen is going to change to now, instead of the 2020 theme being active, the Astra theme is active. Okay. So where was I going? Oh, themes are, it's very important that you take your time choosing a theme and don't always choose a theme based on how it looks. Because some developers will create great, simple, easy to follow instructions on how to set that theme up to look just like the demo, and some won't. Some developers will develop a theme and make it look stunning with great stock imagery and text and everything. But when you download that theme into WordPress, it looks nothing like the demo. You actually have to set it up and do all the things that you need to do to make it look like the demo. And some developers will include the stock imagery so that you can get it to look like that, or at least give you those images to start with, and then you can change them out for your own, and some won't. So it's very, very, very easy to choose a theme that looks great, but then you have no idea how to set it up, or you have no desire to page through 5 or 10 different pages of instructions on how to set it up so that it looks just like the demo. Be very careful of that. What I'm about to show you is actually a shortcut to that. Okay. The Astra theme is just one theme, but they have a plugin that has a ton of templates already built out. So all you have to do is choose a template, click a button to import it, and all the pages are built, all the setup, the different areas on the website are set up. So all you have to do is change out your pictures and text. Okay, and that's what I'm getting ready to show you. All right, so let's take a look at this setup now that we've changed the theme. Let's go to a live version of the page. Now remember, this is what it looked like previous, so we have to refresh the screen to see what it looks like now. So now, okay, so we got to get rid of that. So see what I mean? We changed themes, and so because the theme is different, it made our website look crazy, right? So we got to go in and fix that before we start customizing it. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I'm going to go to customize. It's going to pull up that screen again. And it's going to look a little different because, again, this customized screen looks different for every theme. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to global first. I have to find where this is. I think this is actually, let me go back to site identity, site title, and logo settings. So I don't want to show my site title, so let's take that out. And as you can see, it automatically took that 12 steps wording out. It kind of moved everything up, right? So if I was to put it back, you'll see what I mean. So you see that? So the site title is sort of a default setting in WordPress, so that when you first build the site, instead of using a graphic for your logo, it'll actually put the name of the site up there in the top left. So because we changed the theme, now Astra is saying, okay, you have a logo and you also have a site title. So I'm going to show both unless you tell me not to. And so I'm going to tell them not to show my site title by deleting it. Okay, it makes the heading look very nice. Okay, and then remember what I said about the logo being a little too big? Right here, we can make the logo look bigger. Oh, it's not moving. Yeah, or smaller, right? So just by moving this back and forth. So I'm going to move it down to 300. Okay, that looks about right. And again, you make it as big or small as you want. Let's see, what else do I want to do here? I don't want to display the tagline, and that's already turned off. But if I wanted to show my tagline, I would turn that on, and it shows just to the right of the logo. All right. Right now, it just says just another WordPress site. You can change it to anything you want. I'm going to change this to teaching entrepreneurs how to tackle the tech. I'll just leave that there. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So once you're done, you can hit publish. And we're not going to do too much to the footer or the header or anything else, but we are going to change how our website looks. Right now, it's showing a sidebar, and I don't like that. So over here on the left, I'm going to go to sidebar. And the default layout is right now showing a sidebar. I'm going to choose no sidebar. So basically what that's going to do is it's going to expand my website homepage so that it's a full width, or at least expanded so there's no sidebar on left or right. Okay. For my blog posts, I may want a sidebar. So I'm going to choose right sidebar from my blog post. That doesn't change anything you see here, but I'm just changing that setting here. For my pages, I'm going to say no sidebar. Okay. And then you can choose the width of your sidebar. This is why I like the Astra theme, because you can make it look any way you want. So if I was to go over, I think I can choose, can I pull up the blog page? Yes, I can. All right. So here's my blog archive page. If I wanted a sidebar here, oh, it's not going to show a sidebar here. It's actually going to, I actually have to pull up a blog post. So as you, that what you saw was the archive page, so it shows each blog post. But if you go into each article, you'll see now the sidebar here. If I wanted it on the left, you choose left and it will switch it. I don't know anybody that uses it on the left. I kind of like it on the right. So we'll leave it on the right and then we'll hit publish. All right, so now that we have our page setup done, we are now going to go down to, let me see, what is our agenda? So we didn't, number 11 was install the theme. So now we're going to work on the plugins. All right, so as I was stating, the Astra theme has a plugin called the Astra Starter site. And what it is even though you're still using the Astra theme, Astra has starter sites that can get you started. It's a plugin, it's an add-on to the Astra theme. So the first plugin we're going to install is the Astra Starter sites. I think it's called something else. Now they used to call it the Astra Starter sites, but let me see what they call it now. So just starter templates. Okay. What's interesting though is the starter templates for the Astra theme you can use with different page building plugins. All right. Now this is a plugin we're going to add on to this website, but it's actually it's a plugin that will add other plugins based on the template you choose. Okay. So for instance, we may choose a template that needs Elementor, which is a page builder plugin. It may add a plugin called WP Forms, which is a form building plugin. And I can't think of any other plugins. Just some add-on plugins, just so that that template looks the way you want it to look. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and install this plugin. And then activate it. So what's going to come up next is just a list of the plugins that you've added, just this one. And then you can go over here to see library. So we're going to click on that. And what's going to come up now are, well, now they have a video. They didn't used to have a video. I just want to see the starter sites. I don't want to watch the video. But if you want to, you can watch the video. So let's go ahead and click on Build Website Now. The next thing you have to do is choose the builder that you're going to use. All right. WordPress has its own block editor called the Gutenberg editor, which is what comes with it. So it's already installed behind the scenes in the WordPress. It's sort of the default builder, right? So you can choose a template or a ready-made website. I'm not going to call it a template. I'm going to call it a ready-made website based on the resident or default builder in WordPress, the builder that came with WordPress. Or you can use these other two. I prefer Elementor. So I'm going to click on Elementor. So it's going to show me all the different websites that I can build with Elementor inside of the Astra theme. Okay. So anything here that doesn't have a premium tag on it, is free. All right. And I want you to notice I've used all free. I've used a free theme, free plugin, the starter sites plugin, and then all of these templates come with your free version of Astra and Elementor, right? All right. So, and if you notice, Elementor is not loaded onto your site yet. It comes with the installation of any of these templates or these ready-made websites. So we're going to scroll through a little bit here. I've used several of these. I've used several of the premium versions for some of my clients. It requires a monthly fee or annual fee, depending on how you want to pay for it. And one of the other things I like is for those of you who build websites for people, if you choose the lifetime version, you can use this as many times as you want until the end of time. Okay. And it's a great tool, and it's gotten better and better over the years. I've been using this tool for maybe 3 or 4 years. Okay. All right. I like, even though I named this Wendy J, put the logo up there, I'm going to build something that I'm familiar with. So this one up here that I saw, I've used several times. This one here is a store. So let's click on this one. Oops. And see what it looks like. So when you click on it, it's going to give you some information about what size your logo should be for this particular template. Obviously, our logo is a little bit too big, but I think it's going to override what we've put there already. The logo will still be in your library, but this entire website as it looks is going to be loaded on top of that. It's going to get rid of what we already created, okay, and replace it with this. And it's going to ask you, do you want to get rid of, and we're going to say yes, because we don't want 2 home pages. We don't want 2 about pages, etc. Actually, I changed my mind. I don't want to use this template. I want to use more of a personal template. Like a coaching type site. So let's search for coaching. Come on. And hit enter. And let's see what we have here. There it is. So we're going to use this one. I've used this one before. All right. Very simple. Not a whole lot of colors. I'm going to show you how you can change the colors here. So we're going to skip this part, because what this does, I think it will replace your logo with Steven's logo. You can do that, but we're just going to go ahead and load everything here so you can see how easy it is. So we're going to skip and continue. We can choose some default colors if we want. So I like this palette. Or do I like this palette? I like this palette. And you can change the fonts. Let's see. Do I like Playfair or Poppins? I like the Montserrat Lego. Okay. And then continue. And just put your information in. This is just information they want. Can I skip this? I don't think I can skip this. I've done this so many times. I don't want to me see. Import. Okay, so after you put in your information, import customizer settings. Yes, you want to leave that checked. Import widgets. Yes, because you want it to look exactly like this, and then you're going to change your images and text, right? Import content. Yes. Share non-sensitive data. I think that's fine. They just like information to help them improve the product, right? So leave all of these checked. Before I hit submit, what this is going to do is it's going to wipe out what we did before, the core pages and stuff, and it's going to replace this with everything that we saw for that Stephen Bell coach site. Okay, so go ahead and click submit and build my website. And it's building the website. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. And it's building. It's building. So it added the WP Forms plugin for the forms, submission forms on the website. And it's redirected me, and we are almost done. All right, so boom, we're done. So another video. Elementor loves their videos. Let's see, where do we want to go next? View your website. So it's going to open up another tab, and it's going to show you the website. So now 12 steps looks like this. Remember, we changed the color scheme. Okay. Now, if you notice, the this area down here still has a little bit of blue overlay. I think that's the actual picture. So what's great is that each of the pictures that are used in this website, you can look and see what the dimensions are, so that when you replace them with your own, you use the same dimensions, so they fit nice. Okay. So if I was going to share, or if I was going to build this site out, one of the first things I would do is make a note of all of the images. Let's see. If I go back to the dashboard, click the S to go back to the dashboard. How do I get out of here? I don't want to go back here. Back, 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 back. All right, you just have to hit the back button. They need to fix that, because they need to have a button there where you can just click it and go back to the dashboard. All right, so now we're in the dashboard of the back of our website, and this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. So we're just going to get rid of that because it doesn't look like that anymore. All right, so the first thing I want to show you with this are the pages, because you noticed before we had home, about. Oh, they actually didn't get rid of the other pages. Okay. There was a time when they would get rid of it, and I think I remember seeing some sort of communication. People said they wanted to keep the old pages, because if they went back to the other version of their website, they wanted the content that was on those pages. So what you can do is all of those, any page here that doesn't have Elementor on it, right? You can do a quick edit, and then down here in the status, choose draft, and then update. Okay, so this one doesn't have this particular template that we, or ready-made site that we imported, does not have a blog, and so we don't want a blog on this one right now. I mean, you can keep it if you want, but then you'd have to format it so that it matches the look and feel of this template. But we're going to get rid of it for now. Edit. Oh, I should have clicked on quick edit. Hold on. Let me go back. So we're going to click on quick edit, and it brings up this box that you can do really quick edits on the page without actually going into the editor. And then update, and then contact me, quick edit. And we're going to hit draft and update. And this home page, quick edit, draft and update, and then services, quick edit, draft and update. So now we just want to look at all the published pages. And now the draft pages are over here, and all of the template or the ready-made website pages are here because of this word Elementor afterwards. So all of these pages, your home page, the about page, the courses page, the ebooks page, and the contact page, which is part of this ready-made site, are all edited by Elementor, not the default editor, the WordPress editor. All right. So let's look at the home page really quick. So you could go into edit, which will bring up the WordPress editor version of the page, and I'll show you what it looks like. But we're not going to do any editing in there. We're going to edit this page with Elementor. So when you open it with edit, you'll notice that there's a big blue button in the middle here called Edit with Elementor. That means this page is being controlled by the Elementor editor and not the WordPress editor. Okay, WordPress editor again is clunky and it's boring, doesn't give you many options. But let me show you what the Elementor editor looks like. So go ahead and click on Edit with Elementor. And this editor is so dynamic and so amazing for changing colors and changing and adding content to the page and changing fonts if you want, or changing just all kinds of things. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a class about how to use Elementor. I have a course, a mini course on how to use the basics of Elementor. And I'll share that with you towards the end of today. But I'll give you some I'll show you some basic things you can do with it. On the left-hand side of the screen are all the different types of widgets you can use. All right. There's a place to put favorites so that you don't have to go searching for them. There's the basic widgets here. I'll go through some of those in a second. If you have the pro version of Elementor, which if you can afford it, I recommend it because you can do lots more things with it. But the free version has quite a bit of things you can do with it. This next area are just the pro versions of the widgets. So I won't show you those today. And then there's some general widgets that are also included. And you can tell if a widget is included if you can look right here where it says video playlist. I think that says, yeah, video playlist. There's a little lock there. And that means that we're not using the pro version. So you'll know which widgets you can use and which ones you can't by looking at that. Okay? All right, so let's go back up to the basic widgets. But before we do that, let me show you what's over here on the other side of the screen. Over here is the actual mini version of your website, the editing version. As you can see me moving my mouse around, you'll see some lines pop up, little boxes. You see a little black box there. You see a little blue box there. And then up here, you see a little blue tab. And then here's the header up here. Basically, a web page that you're editing with Elementor, it breaks it up into sections, columns, and then within those columns there are widgets. Okay, so just think about a piece of paper or card or some piece of paper, and then you have a section, and then on this section you have columns, 1 column, 2 columns, 5 columns, And then within those columns, you can add different elements or widgets. Elements, Elementor. Yeah. So for instance, in this section, now all sections are denoted by a blue tab at the top here. Columns are denoted by these little black boxes. So this section here has 2 columns. And if you notice, the left column is a little wider than the right column. Okay. And then within each column, you have this section, which is a title or a heading rather. And then right underneath that is another widget called a text editor widget. And then right underneath that, you have an intersection within this section that has 2 columns. This column is narrower than this column. And again, the columns are denoted by these little black boxes. In this column is a button, right? And in this column is another button. So you might ask, well, why did they put this section inside of a section? And why is this column narrower than this column? Basically, what they wanted to do is put 2 buttons here side by side. And they wanted them on the left side of the page in this column. So in order to do that, you had to add in an intersection and add some columns to it. All right. So if I just confused you, no big deal. Just know that you have sections with columns, with widgets inside of the columns. This is considered a widget. It's called an intersection that has columns inside of it. And then inside of each column are widgets. It's a button, and that's a button. So if you had a bunch of pieces of paper on a page, on a table, you could line them up to format what you want your page to look like. Just think of this as a canvas with sections on it. Okay? That's basically what Elementor does for every page that you use or build with Elementor. Now, these particular widgets are pretty simple. You have this, again, widgets are denoted by the little blue box on the right. Columns are a little black box on the left. Sections are denoted by a blue tab on the top. So if we scroll down, we'll see that there's another section right here, right, where there's some credentials. Inside this section is 1 column with 1 widget. And this widget is called a basic gallery. It's a gallery of logos showing what this particular coach was featured in. Okay. Below that, there's another section called What I Do. And inside this section is 1 column with a heading, a text editor, and then another intersection with 1, 2, 3 columns. And within these columns are a heading widget, a text editor widget, and a button in each of these intersection columns. And then below that is another section with 1, 2, 3 columns. So there's a column with some widgets in it. Here's a column with just 1 widget, this little picture. And then this column has 1, 2, 3 widgets. And on and on and on and on. Okay, here's a testimonial section and da 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 da. So it's all built with sections that have columns that have widgets inside each column to make what you want your page to look like. Now, all you have to do here is if you, again, you looked at this ready-made website and you said, okay, I'm a coach, so maybe this will work for me. I don't have to change it too much. I just have to find some pictures that are the same size as the pictures that are on here, right? So if I wanted to change the picture in this section, you notice that none of these widgets were pictures, right? So how did this picture get into this section? Well, if you click on the tab that says section, over here on the left, in this pane here is everything that you can do to edit that section. Not the columns in the section. Well, you can do some things with it, but it's more of a setup kind of change. Not to the widgets in the columns. Mainly what you want to edit here are how the section behaves. How narrow it is, how wide it is. If you're going to use a colored background for the section, or just all kinds of things, right? So if you look over to the left, you'll notice that the layout for this section is called content width, and it's boxed. The difference between boxed and full width is basically, well, for this particular website, I don't know why they use box, but full width means it spans the whole width of the screen. Boxed means no matter what size you change the screen to, it'll keep it aesthetically in the dynamics within the right ratios. It's just a preference of how you want the website to look. So I don't normally change that unless I'm doing a custom site and I'm changing some things to make it look custom. You can change the width, right? Which basically changes how the picture looks and changes how the columns and the widgets look on the page. So we basically want to leave that alone. Leave it to where it's nothing. And basically the column gaps are extended so that they're right up against each other. I think that's what that means. And then another setting here they've changed is the vertical alignment, which means they want all of the columns to be in the middle of the section. Okay, so the section is basically the height of the section is the default, which is basically the width that they've indicated. Okay, I don't want to get too much in the weeds here because the site is great how it is. You should just find pictures to change and so on and so on. If you want to get in the weeds, watch my Elementor training. Again, I'll give you the link for that at the end of class. But to change the picture, what you want to do is you want to look at this section here called Style. And Style will show you what the image looks like. When you click on it, it's going to open up the media library. And it's going to show you over here on the right which picture is in that spot. And it's this one here with the little check mark. And here are the dimensions. So you need a picture that looks good in this space that is 1920 by 930 pixels. So if you click on that picture, if you want to look at that picture, well, here's a little small image of it. I know it's probably hard to see, but if you notice this picture, you'll notice that the left side of the picture is it's not white space, but it's blank space. The image is right justified in this picture so that you could use it to overlay text. And that's how they've used this picture in this area. So you want to make sure whatever picture you use, if you're not going to change how the text looks on the page, so we're just going to go ahead and click insert. If you notice, I'm going to click this little arrow to get the pane out of the way. So the picture, there's space on the left so that the text doesn't fall over the face of the person in the image. Okay, now you may say, well, the person is on the left and the space is on the right. That's fine, because what you can do is you can switch the columns so that this column's information with all the widgets is on this side and vice versa. There's nothing over here in this column. You know that there's nothing over here because you see a little plus sign. It's pretty empty, right? So if I wanted everything in this column to be over here, you just click and drag it. So click and hold it and drag it over there. So now the text is on the left, and here's the little cross. It's empty on the left. So if you had a picture and the person was on the left, you could do that. You could just switch the text or switch everything that was in the column on the left to the column on the right. So we're going to undo what we just did by dragging this back over here. Okay. Now, when I did that, it adjusted the width of the left column so that the left column is wider than the right. And so what we want to do, if you look here, right here in between, you can click and drag. The size of the columns. Now, no matter what I do, it looks like the text is overlaying the person's face. So if you can't get it just right and you made a mistake and you're like, I want to undo what I just did. You go down here to the bottom left where it says history. And here are all the changes you've made or we've made since we've been on this site. If you want to go all the way back to the beginning, just click on Getting Started. And it's going to change everything back. So because we're editing in a small space, it looks like the words are over the guy's face. But if you get the editing pane out of the way by clicking on that arrow, you'll see that it moves back over. And that's actually how it will look on a live website. So we're just going to click Update. And then go over here, hit refresh, and it should be the same. Because we didn't make any changes. We were back to getting started. Okay. So those are some basics of how the sections and the columns and the text and widgets work with Elementor. And you can do that with any section. If I wanted to change the text in a widget, I click on the widget and I go over here to the left and you can see here's the text that you can change. If I want to change this text here in the text editor, I click on the blue box. That makes the editing pane focus in on this widget. And so then I could change the text here. I can also change the style of this text by clicking on the Style tab. So let's say I wanted to change the text color. I could click a black color. I could click a darker color. Right? Just be careful. That doesn't look good. So let's go back to, I think it was sort of like a white, bluish white. Okay. I could change the size of the text by clicking on the typography. Right? And then I could just drag this over. That's too big. So I'm going to leave it at default. Okay, these defaults are set up at the theme level, so it looks good. So I wouldn't change it too much if I were you. You can change the color of the buttons. Like if I click this blue box here, not this box, that's the intersection. It's edit intersection. I want to change the button, which is a widget, which I need to click on this blue box here. If I want to change the color of that button, I click on the box so that over here I'm editing a button. I go to Style and I click on the color right here. I can make it green. I can make it black. Okay. Same thing with this button. Now, one more thing I want to show you with this picture. This picture is, I'm going to click on section because this picture is in the section. It's the background for this section. But if you notice, there's the picture, right? But it has this yellow hazy look of it over it. What that is a background overlay. So the background is a picture. I can choose other things to put. I can put a video here in the background of this section. I can change it to a gradient color. I could, what is that? A slideshow, but we're just going to leave it here and then choose an image. But if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see here there's background overlay. You can put an overlay over the picture, because what you don't want to do is choose a picture where the words kind of blend into the picture. So what they've done here is added an overlay to the left side of the picture so that the words come off the page, right? If you notice, the template or the ready-made site was sort of like a blue color, and we changed it to this yellow. Well, you can change it to any color you want. There's green. Again, this is the overlay. You can change it back to the blue, right? We're going to go back to the theme color. And then you can change how it's lined up. So right now, this is a linear type overlay. If it's radial, it means it radiates around. Linear means it's one side or the other. So if it's linear, right here, we're at 270% of the page, or 270, or the angle of it is 270. So we can reduce it. Now it's over on the right side. We're going to leave it at 270. And then the opacity is how much of it, how dark it is. So we can turn it all the way off or turn it all the way up. It's almost one. Okay. And there's other things you can do, you know, keep it simple. It's just a website, right? All right. So yeah, that's why you see the picture looks a little different. Like the picture looks normal, but it has this yellow haze over it. You can change the color of the overlay. And the main reason for that, again, is to make sure that the text comes up off the page the right way. Okay. So that is, and then you can do the same thing with all the other pages. Find the pictures on the page. Let me see, one more. So one more note, this picture is the background to this section, but you can also add pictures to the page in a widget. So for instance, this picture here is not in the background, right? There's no picture, right? There's no picture here for the background. This is actually, if you click on this box here, that's actually an image widget. So this image actually sits on top of this section. It's not the background of the section, right? And so same concept. Click on the picture, go choose one. If you don't like that one, choose another one. I don't know. We'll keep it. I forget which one it was there. Yeah. Him on the phone. And it has a, if you go to style, I believe it does have an overlay. No, it doesn't. I think that's the same. Yeah, there's no overlay. It's just the raw picture that's there. This particular picture of him has sort of like a blue tone to it, so it looks like there's an overlay, but there isn't. And you can change the size of the picture, right? If you want to use the picture as the same size, because the page is nice and, you know, it's laid out nice, so I wouldn't change it. But if you had to change it, you could change the width of the picture on the page, you know, with these levers. But we're just going to leave them. Just going to use the picture as is. Okay. And again, you can change the heading by clicking on the blue box, the text editors, or the button. Change the color of the button, any other elements on the page. Now, the header and the footer are in different sections of the website. You actually have to edit those. Let me go ahead and update this. We already talked about how to change the header. It's in the customize section. And then I believe the footer is also there. So once you've updated your page, click in the top left here, and then click on Edit, Exit to Dashboard. And it'll take you back to the WordPress editor section of this page, and then click on the W to get back to the actual dashboard. And then we only want to see the published pages. We don't want to see the draft pages. Okay. So then you go to Appearance and Customize. And Footer Builder. And this is where you edit your footer. So if you scroll down, you'll see that you can click here to edit. You're already there. So if you click this section, it'll let you edit. Okay, I got it. Yeah. They always give you messages. So as you can see, this is basically just some text. It's a title. Let me help you overshoot your goals in the right ways. This footer will show up on every page. Okay. If you want to build a different type of footer, then also you have your copyright information. And I'm not quite sure what this is. Oh, this is powered by. So you have your copyright over here and powered by, and then your site title, which is in this case, I think I called it 12 steps, right? Yeah. So if we look at the footer down here, you'll see it's not showing up there. So I don't know. Oh, because I took the site title out. So there is no site title. But if your site title was there, it would say powered by 12 steps. Anyway, that's how you edit your footer. So customize, footer builder, then you can go in and change all these areas. Okay. But again, that'll show up on every page of the website. Okay. All right. So starter sites will get your website up and running quickly. Just choose one of those starter sites. I'll show that to you again, because there's lots of different starter sites there. And when you click on them to see the starter sites, go to Appearance and then Starter Templates. And that will show up here in your WordPress dashboard. Then you can just scroll through, and if you didn't like that one, you can choose another one and do the same thing. But be careful, because it's going to add those pages, and then you just have to quick edit those and make them drafts so you can keep your published pages separate. Just look through them, and you can look at the different pages. Like, for instance, this one here, this one, online health coach. I use this for a running coach that I'm working with right now. I'm going to X out of that. So you can see what the different pages look like, right? When you click on it, I believe maybe they stopped showing that. See if they'll let you click on the different pages to see what they look like. Yes. So you can click through and look and see what the different pages look like, to see if you really like all of how the entire site looks, not just the home page. So scroll through and look and see, okay, this kind of looks like what I want my website to look like. Here's the courses page. And then what's the about page look like? Let's look at the about page. Yeah, that's pretty good. I kind of like that parallax feature. That's what that's called, parallax, where the picture stays static while you scroll. The contact page, let's see. Contact page is pretty straightforward. Has a nice map of where my studio is. And then a form. So yeah, I think I like this one. Go, page through the template, and then open up the actions panel here to go ahead and start importing it if you want to import it. But look through the pages, see if you like it, and then just go in and look at, replace your logo, replace your text, replace your pictures. And that Elementor training that I told you about goes really in depth um, on how to use Elementor. It goes into some more how-tos in the different sections and all of that. I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of time. So those are the last 4 steps. I hope this was helpful. I hope this really encourages you to not be so afraid of WordPress, because this is an easy way to get your site up and running without actually building every single page from scratch. You can use something like the Astra Theme and the Starter Sites plugin to get your site up and running. I'm going to go back to the dashboard really quick because I want to show you when we imported that ready-made website, it added a few plugins, right? So we added the Starter Site plugin. X out of there, and then go back. See, this is what I don't like. What's that? Nope. All right, so we're gonna go back to Elementor. Astra. You guys gotta do better. There's gotta be a button. Okay, we're back to the dashboard. All right, so when we imported that ready-made website, we had already imported the starter templates. So what it did is it added Elementor, which is another plugin. It's a plugin that actually allows you to do that drag and drop editor. Have the it's called a page builder plugin. It turns your WordPress website into a drag and drop environment. And then it also added a plugin called WP Forms Lite, which is a form builder for contact forms or sign up forms. I did say I was going to show you 2 or 3 more plugins, but I think I'm going to do that. I have a training for that. It's just my favorite plugins. There's a backup plugin called Updraft Plus. There's a security plugin called WordFence. And I think the Elementor training has that in it too. If not, I'll give you guys the training for adding those plugins. But I think I pretty much wore out my welcome for today. We've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm going to cut this off here and wish you guys a happy Saturday. Hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know. Leave a comment below. I didn't see any chat messages come through. But if you are watching this on a replay and you like what you see or you have questions about what I've shared, leave me a comment and I will certainly, answer it for you to the best of my ability. All right. I am going to go have some lunch. I hope you are if you're on the East Coast, anywhere on the East Coast, I hope you're getting ready for this storm. They say it's going to be icy and cold, so I'm wishing everybody safe journey through the night. I hope nobody loses power. If you do lose power, stay huddled up close to your loved ones, and I'll see you next time. Bye.